Not available in all states.
Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control. They take pride in caring for their customers' property by providing lawn and whole house pest control. Whether you have roaches or any other unwanted bugs in your home, Turf Pro has you covered. Or if your lawn needs weed control, fertilized, insect control, Turf Pro has you covered by providing custom treatments to meet your property's needs. No property is the same, so why should it be treated that way? Turf Pro, where the blue and yellow trucks make your lawn green. Call 850-890-5820.
Is your restaurant looking a little tired from the long off season? Is your office a little offish? Start the new year off right by giving them a fresh start. Fresh Start Cleaning is now accepting new clients. Ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services. Fresh Start Cleaning. Get clean again with Fresh Start. Call 850-771-6917, 771-6917, and ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services. Calling all hospitality pros, ready to be your own boss? Then get the Crew app and get connected to flexible work in the industry you know and love. With Crew, you call the shots. Work where, when, and how you want, and get paid right after. Flexibility and fast cash, that's the Crew way. Crew lets you earn quick cash on your terms. What you need to bring is your awesome attitude. Take control of your economic destiny with Crew. That's CROUX.co. Crew, your new side hustle.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of Sports Talk Radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Monday morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Great to be back on. We had a little hiatus there on Thursday and Friday, but for all good reasons, as there was a ton of upsets in that first round and did change a little bit in the second round. But you can listen to us as always, and we appreciate you out there in Radio Land. Listen to us on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the Forgotten Coast. You can watch us on Facebook, X, and YouTube. You can also listen there too if you don't want to see us. You just search ESPN Northwest Florida. And then last but not least, download that free mobile app so you can take ESPN Northwest Florida and all these three great local shows right here on our radio network. Anywhere you go where you have service, that's 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in the
Google Play Store or Apple Store.
And welcome Jay back to the show.
Yes,
Jay,
sir.
how are you doing? Did you have a good weekend?
I did.
Feels like I haven't seen you guys in forever.
I know. It's been
and
like
it's just
5
when I get to
days.
see you guys in studio, it just lifts me up.
Amen to that.
It's
same here.
I look forward to it every day. So very blessed to do this with you guys every day. Almost every day, but most days. Most days. But yeah, good. Did you did some lessons this morning?
Yeah, man, I know. There's white caps.
Put it off your back foot and swing low. Keep that face from turning over.
You can surf in the bay right now if you want to.
Surf. You could.
10.
Winds are gusting, that's for sure. It could be windy the next few days. Liam's got a baseball game tonight. That should be interesting.
Is he on the mound?
I don't know. He might be. Be. But just throw a knuckle. Throw a knuckle all day and just watch that thing move. You don't even have to know how to throw it. It'll just do it on
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, watch any of the March Madness. We've got so much to get to today. We got a great show lined up. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
At 11:20, we've got the president of Talladega Super Super Speedway. That's Brian Crichton coming up. Jay's going to ask him a bunch of fun questions. He's got a good one, too. That one you told me before the show. I'm excited to hear what his answer is on that one, because there's got to be a specific reason for that one.
There's got to be, right?
Well, you'll just have to stay tuned to find out what that question may be. And then also want to thank Chris Fall for getting us connected to Chad Folsom. He's going to be joining us at 12:20. He's the current head coach of the basketball team, the women's basketball team for Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas.
Okay.
It's an NAIA school, but he's actually currently at the women's national tournament as he's working on the tournament committee. So apparently he's helping with the national tournament as well. But that's the cool thing about basketball is all these levels of basketball. I'm right here with Gulf Coast and Northwest Florida and all that. We got such high-level basketball. Doesn't have to be Division I. Doesn't have to be Division II. It can be any division, and it's going to be very, very high-level basketball. That is for sure. Charlie Woods. Do you want to talk about him today? Or you want to kick that down the road?
We're going Charlie Woods.
I don't know. I'm asking you a question.
I'm curious.
It's a flow chart. We're going to do a flow chart today. And based on your answers is the direction we're going to go.
Okay. All right. Let's go Charlie Woods.
Charlie Woods?
Yes.
All right. We'll just go real quick on Charlie Woods then. How do you think he did in his AJGA debut?
It's either really, really good or really, really bad. I'm going really, really good.
It was not really, really good, unfortunately. His first AJGA debut, which if you're a golfer and you know junior golf, the AJGA is basically the highest tour when it comes to junior golf in the world. And Charlie, unfortunately, is 15 years old. He got a sponsor's exemption. He ended up plus 21 for the 3 rounds. Ooh. Just really couldn't get anything going. Made a lot of doubles, and the winner ended up, I think, being 7 under par for those 3 rounds. So just goes to show you, at the AJGA level, 14, 15, 16 years old, these kids are shooting 6, 7, 8 under par for 3 rounds in high-level tournaments. That's where you have to be to make it to the next level, just even in college.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you think? You think he's just the pressure, or it's new? Or do you think any of this has to do with just how difficult it is in the game of golf, or do you think he's just the footsteps are big and he feels that extra pressure?
Yeah, the footsteps for sure. I mean, we've talked about this, right? I mean, I know we've got Crichton coming on at 11:20, and keeping that NASCAR thing going. Dale Earnhardt Sr., Dale Earnhardt Jr., those guys were just different. It's a generation thing. Maybe if Dale Earnhardt Jr. I don't know if he's got a little boy or whatever, but I mean, maybe it skips generations.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like gray hair isn't come every other generation or something.
Something like that. Yeah. So a lot of shoes to fill with Tiger, and he's not off to a great start, but hey, he's young. He's 15.
He's got 15. The whole world in front of him.
Absolutely.
And obviously us talking about his first AJGA tournament is part of that added, not that we're putting pressure on him, but the media is certainly going to follow every footstep that he makes when it comes to golf because of what his dad had kind of put forth for him, and that's kind of how it goes.
Yep.
ESPN Northwest Florida leaders in the bracket challenge or Lady Bison Classic results?
Oh, I'm curious about the leaders on the bracket.
Well, you're not one of them. Either am I. I mistakenly picked Auburn to win the national championship. So, unfortunately, that eliminates the key when you're looking at your brackets at this point. We're moving into the Sweet 16. Is what is your max points? How many can you still get? That is really the key when it comes to. Obviously, you want to be near the front, but the points remaining is certainly key. But right now, the username is ESPN Fan 6864 and a bunch of numbers, and he's got 480 points, and then Club Trill also 480, and West Virginia also 480, and then we've got a host of people at 470 points, and 103 people ended up being in the ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge. $250 I think goes to the winner.
That's great.
Pretty impressive stuff. I didn't scroll down to see. I have 440, but my max is toast, so it really doesn't matter. Liam was off to a really, really good start on his bracket. After day 1, I think he only missed maybe 2 picks, but when who did he pick to win the national championship? Tennessee. Ooh, yes. That was loud. It was nice. And Tennessee's still in it, but he had Kentucky playing in the national championship as well. And obviously Kentucky going down in the first round certainly hurt. And he learned quickly how your brackets can change very, very fast.
Yes. You have that good day and a half, and then all of a sudden it's like, what in the world? I had Kentucky going to the Final Four. That ain't looking good, but I got the other 3 teams remaining, so we'll see how it goes, man. San Diego State upsets UConn. We're looking good.
Yep, there you go. There you go. And that could happen. Coming up Thursday and Friday. Luckily, I think all those games are start in the afternoon, evening time.
Yeah. I think it'll only affect. Well, I'm waiting on the email from Westwood One to see what time we're going to be starting coverage, but I think the games start at 6 o'clock. So.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. There you go.
I didn't watch much basketball this week.
No,
so,
there's a lot of upsets in the first round.
Really?
Second round, not so much.
Yeah,
just one. If you want to consider Clemson over Baylor an upset.
So who do you think that's in it now? Like, if you had to pick,
I'm still saying UConn.
Are you?
Yeah, they're just. And although Purdue is that big man, Edey, from, if I pronounce his name correctly, from Purdue, is a beast. And I love what his coach said yesterday in the press conference, talking about, he's just good because he's big. No, he's good because he's good.
Yeah,
he's also big.
Right.
But yeah, UConn's looking strong. Houston survived that. We'll talk more about it later. But Houston survived that overtime thriller when Texas A&M hit that 3. That was an unbelievable inbounds pass, by the way.
Thank you. Yes.
Like, he's like, there's nobody open, and then he just sees the seam and he hits him with a bounce pass to the 3-point line, and then the kid makes it. 1.7 seconds, I think, left.
Time expiring.
Yeah.
There was 1 second whenever it won.
Because as soon as that ball hits the floor, the clock runs, right? So that's the risk.
Well, no. As soon as a player touches it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it bounces down the court when they're coming down. Yeah.
You can't hide talent.
No, you can't. Unfortunately, Houston, unfortunately for Texas A&M, Houston went on to win that game in overtime. Lots of overtime games this weekend that were exciting.
And Houston had to battle all of the players being fouled out. They have like 4 players fouled out. That hasn't been done since like 1984. I forget. I think it was Villanova or something like that. Golly.
There was some wild officiating going on in several of these games. Like some games they were just letting them full on play, and then other games they were calling stuff, and then other games balls were hitting people's hands and getting reviewed and still not overturned.
Yeah,
that's one of the wildest calls I've seen in a long. Have you seen any of that?
Yeah, I did.
It literally moved the guy's finger in slow motion in the replay, and they still gave the ball to NC State. That was NC State and Oakland.
Oh, I was listening on the radio, so I didn't get to. I wasn't watching that one, but man,
yeah.
Hey, it's fun listening to those games. I love the bouncing back and forth and just being on top of every game. They do a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then the score in that game, didn't they mess the score up? Because I saw something. Yeah, like literally that NC State scored a 3-pointer and they gave those points to Oakland. And dude, it was like in the first. It was in the first.
I'm
half.
sure they got it corrected.
I don't know if they did.
I have not heard a word about this.
I saw
that would be pretty big stuff if they didn't correct that.
Yeah,
I did.
Maybe for the 30 seconds you were watching or so.
Yeah, it happens, but they probably got it fixed.
I'm going to do I'm searching that up right now.
Interesting. Interesting. Jay, as we were talking about underdogs in the NCAA tournament in the round of 64, 12 underdogs won outright. That was tied second most since 1985 and the most since 2001. Through 36 games, this was after round 1, dogs have won 14 outright, and that was tied the most entering the round of 32 in the first 4 eras. So since they've come out with the first 4 games, that was the most that's ever happened. Now, in the second round, that all changed because there was only 1 upset in that second round. And we'll go through our pick'em at our 1040, and guess who cleaned up again?
David Hayes.
Yes, David Hayes, as always. It just seems like it. Yeah, he got 2 out of the 3 numbers of seeds, 1, 2, or 3, making it to the Sweet 16 correctly.
Well, and then Caveman Rick was experimenting going all underdog, so he had a good weekend, huh?
I've been doing the same thing, and it's funny you asked that because I'm going to tell you exactly what transpired. So for the first 4 days, the first 2 rounds of the NCAA men's tournament, there was 48 games being played. If you bet $1 on each one of those games, how much is that, Jay?
$48.
$48. And prior to round number 2, it was going real well. But you've won, if you bet $48, $1 per game, you would have won $45.80. So you're basically down to $2.20 on a $1 bet. If you bet on every game, the underdog in the tournament.
Okay.
And like I said, 14 of those won in the first round. So you were up big time, which, if you're a betting person, allows you then to have the money to place the additional bets. And we'll keep that going through the rest of the tournament. But a lot of low seeds that have moved on to the Sweet 16. That is for sure. How much time we got? Oh, plenty of time. Lady Bison Class, did you see the girls out there this weekend?
I did. A lot of sweet swinging tempo swings out there this weekend.
Absolutely. Sweet swinging tempos, rhythm and balance. They dodged some wind, though. I mean, if they were playing today, it'd be a whole nother ball game. But Harvard ended up winning the Lady Bison Classic over there at Bay Point. They shot 28 over par as a team. Abilene Christian University shot 30. Dartmouth 43. Lipscomb plus 48. The host of the tournament, it's like an Ivy League tournament. Yale with plus 51. I wonder if those girls were excited.
Shout out Ivy League
when they beat the Auburn Tigers there in the tournament.
No kidding.
I wonder if they were excited there on Friday after they were done playing. UNC Asheville plus 54, Austin P plus 55, UNA North Alabama just up the road plus 64, USC Upstate plus 68, University of Albany plus 99, and then Mount St. Mary's had a tough go with a plus 134. Although on the individual side of things, you had one player under par for the tournament. It was pretty cool. Ryan Honea from Abilene Christian University. She shot 71, 73, 70. And then Bridget Ma from Harvard, she's now set the competition course record, which was set by Lauren Thompson last year in this tournament. She shot 67 yesterday in the final round, which is some pretty impressive golf out there.
I asked one of the Harvard ladies on Friday if 900 SAT scores would get in at Harvard, and she laughed at me. So,
if she only knew you and knew how much of a real question that was.
Yeah.
Hey, did she get in for smarts or did she get in for golf ability?
She could have. Yeah.
Probably both.
Yeah, probably.
But the thing about this tournament is there's a lot of teams from, up in the Northeast and, the Midwest because they're getting down playing where it's warmer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But kudos to all the winners of the Lady Bison Classic. That's always a fun one out there. And they had some decent weather. I mean, it rained on Saturday, but I think they finished up after it rained, right?
Yeah, they did. It was raining Friday and then windy Saturday. I mean, good weather, I don't know. Let's call it fair weather.
But better than 42 and rainy, which is what
true.
they played before and in February, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did you hear the news?
I did not.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, I did.
Shooter McGavin's his character, I forget his name, had broke the news that the script is almost done and that movie is in the works.
Whew.
You excited for that one?
I am. Is that going to be a Netflix special?
I don't know. I feel like that would test that market, putting it in the theaters with how big of success Happy Gilmore was.
I mean, what do you do? How do you write the script moving forward?
If what you read is true, it had something to do with like this guy named Crappy Gilmore, who's like taking over the tour, and Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore are like plotting together now to take down Crappy Gilmore. That could just be nothing to do with the actual plot of the movie, but there's a lot of stuff floating around out there right now.
Does he? I wonder if he's still with what's her name? The one where they were on the ice rink and they were
Virginia Bennett.
Virginia Bennett, yes, yeah. And they were.
She was PR with the tour.
Now the question is, does Friends? Do they listen to Endless Love on a ice rink together? No, I don't think so.
No,
either.
that's not Friends.
Yeah,
that's more than Friends.
That is more than Friends.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the ironic thing about this and her being the PR person with the PGA Tour is the PGA Tour needs some of that going on right now, too. So there's a little bit of parallel with that. Maybe they need a Happy Gilmore out there to spice some things up.
I couldn't agree more.
Did you watch any of the Valspar?
I did, man.
You did?
I did.
You're such a golf nut.
I know.
I didn't even know there was a golf tournament going on this week.
I didn't know there was a basketball tournament going on.
Fair.
But Malnati won it yesterday. And, man, he had a story to tell after his round, man. There was a lot of emotion. I mean, these are
one in 9 years.
Yeah,
like that.
9 years. And they cut him off. But, I mean, that would be a good ESPN 30 for 30 because he's been grinding for so long. And, man, he couldn't hold back the tears yesterday. It was pretty phenomenal.
You win over $1 million. It's usually pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But speaking of $1 million, did you know that after just 4 events on the LIV Tour this year, nearly half of the players on the tour have earned over $1 million?
I did not know that.
Well, now you do. You're welcome. One more thing about golf. Max Homa had a good quote on Friday, and he said what it would take to make golf more watchable, right? Because that's the battle that the PGA Tour is in right now. We've talked about this at length. We watched the majors and all that and the bigger, non-major tournament. He said it's golf. It's slower. It's not football. It's not basketball. But there's a lot of beauty in it. I think if I had to pick one thing I would like, Fridays out here are awesome when we do have a cut. It's funny he has to say when we do have a cut. I think something just to lean into. Friday's not determining the golf tournament. Let's follow the guys sweating the cut line.
Great Great.
So instead of following the leaders, because no one's going to win on Friday, you focus on the guys right around that cut line.
That's probably the smartest thing I've heard in quite some time.
Yeah, coming from Max Homa, too.
Yeah.
Who's notably very funny in the social media world.
Well, let's take it back even further. What about the Monday qualifiers? I mean, like, let's dive deep into their stories, right?
That sounds stressful.
Yeah, the case of the Mondays.
Oof.
Yeah.
There's Monday qualifier going on. Right. What tournament is even this week? Do you know?
Do we go to Houston? I
think Houston's next week. Houston's always the week before the Masters, right?
Yeah.
I should know this.
Yeah, well, me too. But
yeah,
Houston Open.
Oh, it is. It's not the Shell Houston Open anymore. It used to be.
It was, yeah.
Bummer.
And it was so
that means that they're going to have one more in between then. I always thought that Houston was right there.
Then they got the Valero, Texas Open.
The Valero, Texas Open. Got to get that gas station sponsorship in there.
Yeah.
Used to be Shell Houston. Now it's the Valero, Texas. I don't know what's going on with the PGA Tour.
I don't either.
It's falling apart.
BP's never got into the game.
No.
They should.
Should they?
Yeah. Why not?
Well,
right?
BP may be part of the PIF.
Could be.
Yeah.
There's
you see the connection there?
I did.
Look at you. You're off to a good start here on this Monday. Man, a lot of stuff to talk about today. We'll dive into this this college basketball action because there's a lot of fun facts and some cool stuff going on. But I just want to get your thoughts there on what you thought with what Max Homa said. But what we got coming up today, too, not only are we interviewing the president of the Talladega Super Speedway, today starts the Race to Talladega competition. If you listen to the Coach James Hale Coach James Hale show this morning, you would have heard that keyword. And if we call your name coming up at 12:15 here on the Inside Drive and 4:15 on the Afternoon Underdogs, the quicker you get to your phone and give us a call back will be your qualifying time. The person with the fastest qualifying times will win a pair of tickets up there in Talladega for the Geico 500. And when we get back here on the Inside Drive, we're going to talk to the president of Talladega Super Speedway, talk about a little bit what's going on up there in the Geico 500, some of the new things they got going on, and any questions Jay Henley may have for him. You guys listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents
Wrestling Against Cancer, number 9.
Saturday, April 27th at Bayhaven Charter Academy. In the main event, it's a tag team showdown with Exodus versus Mike Steele and Mr. 850. Plus exciting women's wrestling. Tickets still just $12. Ages 6 to 17, only $8. 5 and under, free.
More information, ESPNPC.com.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Monday. Some sun this afternoon and evening with a strong breeze coming out of the southeast at 21 miles per hour and look for the high to be 73. Tonight, there will be some clouds with the temperature reaching 67. Mostly cloudy in the morning, followed by a likelihood of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 71. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
The road is yours, so let your spring adventures begin and discover the new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Stop by today and check out our 2024 SUV family and take a test drive. See all the new features that elevate any adventure. Now offering 4.75% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento EX. You'll get that rugged good look with luxury and the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia, the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by anytime and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll give you the peace of mind that you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento EX with $22.94 per month per 1,000 finance in 48 months. Quality is limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is the Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 4/30/24.
And now, the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Only makes sense as we started our Race to Talladega competition today. Don't forget, coming up at 12:15, you want to listen for your name. If it's called, race to your phones, give us a call. Your qualifying time could win you a pair of tickets to the Geico 500 up there at Talladega Super Speedway. We're excited to have him on the line, and that is Brian Crichton. He's the president of the Talladega Super Speedway. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. Got a lot of NASCAR fans down here in the Panhandle, and since we've only got about one segment with you today, let's jump right into it. What are you most excited about the Geico 500? Is there some new things coming for fans to experience this event coming up here in a little less than a month?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's always the competition on the racetrack. I mean, Barney Hall from MRN said they don't race them anywhere in the world like they do at Talladega Super Speedway. So that 2, 3, 4 wide racing at 200 miles an hour, you just can't beat it. You know, we saw one of the closest finishes at Atlanta Motor Speedway earlier this year. We still are even closer than that, and at 200 miles an hour. So that's first and foremost. Next is just the overall experience that's here. We have our campgrounds open up on Monday before race weekend, and we have people that stage here on Thursday or Friday before that weekend as well. So they're just people that just cannot wait to get here. We have 3 free campgrounds. All you have to do is buy a Sunday ticket, and you can camp for free for an entire week. And these campgrounds are right by the racetrack as well. So it's the overall experience. We have this brand new $50 million Talladega Garage experience, which immerses the fan into the garages. Victory Lane is part of it. It's all there. If you haven't been to Talladega Super Speedway, put it on your list. Come on up, buy some tickets, camp out, spend a week with us up here at Talladega.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like, obviously the race is first and foremost, but it's just an experience that, if some families are on spring break or whatever it may be, it just seems like it's a perfect opportunity. One, if you're into racing, or even if you're not, go check it out. You may fall in love, and it's not just Sunday, it's the entire week leading up, and kudos to what you guys have been able to create up there.
Yeah, it's a special experience up here. One of our sayings is, "This is more than a race. This is Talladega," because of all the extra things that we do as well. So Friday night we've got a big event that happens inside of our infield. Saturday night we have Walker Hayes that's going to perform a free concert on Saturday night inside of our infield. So all you have to do is have a Sunday ticket. So again, you can buy that Sunday ticket. You can camp for free. You can come into our infield on Saturday night for a Walker Hayes concert. Then you can walk the famous Talladega Boulevard. Now remember, if you do that, what we say up here is, what happens on the boulevard stays on the boulevard. So it's kind of like a Mardi Gras meets spring break meets NASCAR. It is just it is a sight to be seen. You will definitely make memories forever here at Talladega.
It sounds like a good time indeed, and all that, painting that picture. How important is it to you and the rest of your team up there in Talladega to create these experiences to keep people coming and bring new people into the sport of NASCAR?
Yeah, to us, it's number one. I mean, we're all about the guest experience that's here at Talladega Super Speedway. So it's not just, going out to a race, like showing up, coming through the gate, sitting in your seat and watching the race. There's so many different activities that go on, whether it's the Midway, where we've got, different manufacturers and different companies that are, just passing out free stuff, the interactive games, checking out the newest Chevys or Fords or Toyotas that are out there. So it elongates the day. It makes it more than just coming out for just the race, for everything that's all encompassing. And guest services, that's the number one thing to our team here. We tell everybody, people are making their vacation decisions to come here to Talladega Super Speedway once or sometimes even twice a year. We've got to make sure we're having fun as a team, because that's the way they're going to have fun as the guests that are coming here to Talladega.
Hey Brian, this is Jay in the studios. What about the other things on property there at Talladega? I know there's a museum, and can you talk to us a little bit about that half-mile dirt track that's right there next to Super Speedway?
Jay, great points. Yes, we have the International Motorsports Hall of Fame, which is right here at our front entrance. They just unveiled a brand new display that honors the Alabama gang and all of Alabama racing too. So if you've been there before, check it out again, because there's new displays that are in there. If you haven't been, definitely put that on your list when you come up here to Talladega. Talladega, and then the dirt track, the Hornet's Nest as they call it. Boy, they're going to run on Friday and Saturday nights. Sometimes some of the NASCAR drivers will go over there and either participate or just be there in the pits watching it. It is an awesome show over there at the Talladega short track. So, it's a weekend of just different events, lots of different racing going on here at Talladega, but also at the short track. So it's definitely a destination. It's a destination, and we turn into the 5th largest city in the state of Alabama during race time.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I do have a question from John in Georgia. I know that back 20 years ago, Atlanta Motor Speedway, a lot of the raceways were putting lights on the track, and Talladega doesn't have lights. Is there something to that we're missing, or do you feel like there's an opportunity there with lights?
Yeah, we're never going to turn the switch off on anything. There's always opportunities. Back in the day, we did, we looked into it. And, a 2.66 mile track, obviously Daytona is 2.5 miles, so, very close to that. But Daytona's in a city center, right? We're kind of, we're out about 45 miles outside of Birmingham. And so the infrastructure just wasn't here. Alabama Power said that they would have to build at least 2 substations to get the power here to run those lights. And you got to think, too, we're not just lighting the racetrack and pit road. We got to light parking lots as well. They don't have to be lit like the racetrack is, but, it's just all of that goes into it. Now, I can tell you, over time, with the the new lights that are out there, the LED lights and everything else, it's not as much of a draw. Yeah. So it's something we continue to look at, but right now it's not in our 5-year plan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, good question, Jay. That was interesting.
Great question.
Kind of one of the things you said there, too, Brian, the Talladega turns into the 5th largest city in Alabama during race week, and I heard you say it a few times. This isn't just a race. It's a destination. It's an event. It's a week-long thing that y'all have created, and how long have you been involved with everything going on up there at Talladega?
So I've been in NASCAR for 24 years. This is my 24th year. So I started up at Chicagoland Speedway back in August of 2000, and I was there for about 4 or 5 years. Went down to Daytona. I was there for 6, but I've been here at Talladega for a little over 14 years now. So sweet home Alabama, like you guys kicked it off, and it's been great for us. I was the vice president for about 10 years, and this is my 4th year as being the president here.
Man, congratulations on all that success. What got you into racing in the first place?
Oh, gosh. Well, the long story, but quick story, is I wanted to be a veterinarian, and so I went to NC State because they had a great vet school. Couldn't get in, so I transitioned over to mass communications, worked in television, radio, got a job at the Durham Bulls Baseball Club.
Nice.
The general manager there got a job at Kansas Speedway. She recommended me to Chicagoland Speedway. That's how I got my start in NASCAR. So that was the very, very quick version of it all.
And again, further proving it's all about your relationships and your connections as it is anything else. That is for sure.
Brian, me being the NASCAR fan I am, I have been to Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega. I will say that the parking at Talladega seems to be a lot better. I had to walk 7 miles at Daytona, so I do give props to the parking aspect of Talladega. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, we appreciate that. We have 2,700 acres, and we'll have just in the infield alone, we'll have 2,700 RVs that have already purchased. We're pretty much sold out in the infield for RV spots. Outside, we'll have another 3,000 that are sold, and then there's 3 free campgrounds that I talked about too. So all I'm told, we'll have probably 8,000 to 9,000 RVs that are here on property. But with that 2,700 acres and not being landlocked like Daytona is, we've got plenty of parking. We've got VIP parking, we've got preferred parking, but most importantly, we have free parking too, and the free parking is real close to the grandstands.
Yeah.
And all I keep hearing you saying is free, 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 free. Obviously, there's a lot of things that cost, but the fact that you guys offer so much for not an additional cost, because a lot of people go to these big sporting events and things like that, and you get nickeled and dime all the way around, and you all just seem like you're doing the right thing for the people to enjoy the experience that it is up there in Talladega.
We appreciate that. And on Sunday, our tickets start at just $65, and kids 12 and under are only $15. They start at $15 for kids 12 and under. And on Saturday, they're $45 for adults, and then kids 12 and under are free on Saturday. So I keep saying that free word, but here's another thing. It's not really free, but we also allow every guest to bring a 14 by 14 by 14 cooler into our grandstand. So you can have any food, any beverage that you want, and you can bring those into our grandstands too. Just can't bring glass in that cooler, but you can bring, Coca-Cola products, you can bring beer, you can bring, whatever you want. And it's another way too, we make it affordable for the fans to come out to Talladega Superspeedway.
That's awesome, Matt. Let me ask you this. From a NASCAR fan standpoint, here's my three things that I will love NASCAR for. I love restrictor plate racing. I love a good short track Saturday night Bristol race. I love Atlanta now that they've moved to restrictor plate. What I done lost my train of thought.
I thought you were going to go more than three. I thought you were going to go to four.
Well, I was going to say, what was your thought? What's your thoughts on a lot of this road course? Because I know they were in Austin, Texas this past weekend. What's your thought on the road course and where NASCAR's heading in that direction?
Yeah, and we have to have different things on the circuit, right? We don't want to just be just ovals. We don't want to be just road courses. We don't want to be just street courses. We don't want to be just big super speedway or little. So I think NASCAR's got a great variety of different types of racetracks, and the way that they continue to add to the schedule, the way they continue to move things around, I think it's keeping it exciting. I love the fact that Watkins Glen is going to be in the playoffs this year. So a road course is going to be in the playoffs, which I think is really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, Watkins Glen. Do you have, you were talking about I go back to it because it just blew my mind, the fifth largest city during the race week. Do you have a ballpark of about how many people will be out through the entire week will come up to Talladega?
Yeah, so we'll have our grandstands are about 80,000, and so we'll be in that 75,000 range, and that's just the grandstand seats. And then we also have suites and some premium boxes and other things that are there. So we'll be pushing up above that 80,000. But then that iconic infield, it's like I mentioned earlier, 2,700 RVs that are in our infield alone. And then you add in Talladega Garage Experience, you add in the garages, you added the crews and everything else. So we'll be pushing 150 to 175,000 on Sunday, and it obviously all builds up to that Sunday, but it's just a massive event. It's the two largest events in the state of Alabama each year.
If I have, let's say, a family of four wants to go up, I got two young kids, do you recommend infield, or where do you recommend I go if I'm a young family with two young kids?
Do you have a trailer or a RV, or do you not?
I do.
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, so we've got lots of different options. So if you want to be in the infield, I just recommend you stay away from Talladega Boulevard and East Teboga Boulevard with the youngins. But we do have Front Runners Club and some other areas in that infield that are close enough to the boulevards that if people want to go and enjoy that, that's great. But it's also it doesn't put you right into the middle of it.
Gotcha.
On the outside, we have Champions Corner, which is an alcohol-free campground as well. But my favorite spot for families is the South Park. So that's just outside turns 1 and 2. It's got a beautiful, really large shower house that's there, trees. It's got a little creek that runs through it. I mean, that is just, camping at its best to me and my family.
There you go. I love it. Good answer. I'm sure there's a lot of people down here heading up that way coming about a month from now, so that'll be really cool. If you were to put one thing, maybe two, I'll give you two, that is your favorite experience that you can do while you're there at race week, what would it be?
So Talladega Garage Experience is number one. If we opened it up back in 2019, and then just to rave reviews. People they call it an amusement park, and this is right in the in our infield, right off of Pit Road. The garages are part of it, so the fan walks in one side of the garage building. The race cars and the teams come in the other side. The only thing that separates you from the nose of that car is about a 4-foot high fence and about 5 feet. So it's all open air. You're right there. A lot of times the drivers, especially if you have kids with them, will come up to the fence, they'll talk to you, they'll sign autographs. It's just a great interaction space as well. We also have a kids zone there. We've got a game zone. The Victory Lane is part of that too, so you can go and stand right there next to Victory Lane and watch the celebration that's happening. And then of course the driver is the happiest that they'll ever be at Talladega when they're in Victory Lane. So they're throwing hats out and they're signing autographs, and it's just a really, really cool place to be. And I see it as this is our way to create the new fan, because I see so many families that are in there, and I know the kids are having such a good time, and so that makes the parents have a good time. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we have value price concessions in the Talladega Garage Experience. $2 bottles of water, $2 Coke products, $4 16-ounce beers, $2 hot dogs. It goes on and on. So, another thing we're trying to give back to the fan when they come in, just that great experience. So when you go up with a family of 4 and your lunch is $38 and it's a great lunch, it beats it. Then, it's a lot better when I was at SeaWorld, no offense to SeaWorld. I bought a pizza and 4 drinks, and it was like $92, and it was cardboard pizza. So anyways, I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, you're good. Some of the older guys, I've always wanted to sit down and have a cold drink with Darrell Waltrip and, Rusty Wallace and those guys. In today's NASCAR, what's one guy in NASCAR that you'd just like to sit down and just kind of hang out with for an hour, have a drink with?
Oh, wow. So Donnie Allison, actually just got on the phone with him earlier today. I mean, part of the Alabama gang. I always love to just sit and talk with him. Yeah. He'll actually be inside Talladega Garage Experience as well on Saturday and Sunday signing autographs. And this just dawned on me as well. Richard Petty is going to be at Talladega on Sunday. He's doing the King's Hat, which is a celebration of 75 years of the Petty racing. And so he's going to unveil that, and he's going to be here as well. So you get back to your normal question. I think that Dale Earnhardt Jr., I love to sit and listen to him and talk to him as well. Of all the experience he's had, from being the little junior, all the way up to where he is now, and how he grew. I remember, him at Chicagoland Speedway back in 2001. He was doing a tire test on the track, and just how he's changed over the years too. But if you're talking those old school guys, Red Farmer, is still here, 91 years old, and he's still over there at that Talladega short track. So I love talking to him too. So, it's just a great history here in the state of Alabama with drivers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, just listening to you talk about everything you guys have got going on up there at Talladega, it just makes you want to go and experience it. I've only ever been to one NASCAR race in my life, and that was at Daytona many, many years ago. But me and my wife being from North Alabama, it sounds like we need to make a trip up to Talladega sometime soon.
You got that right.
It's funny. I tell people, Eric Church doesn't just, write songs about racetrack XYZ here, but he writes one about Talladega Superspeedway. This is a really, really special place. I know a lot of people have it on their bucket list, and I always tell our team, that's our opportunity. The opportunity is, to make them, do it and make them come here to experience it, but then provide such a great experience that it's not just a bucket list. It's at least a once, if not twice a year, activity. So it's a special place. If people have been thinking about coming out, just do it. Just do it. Come on out. You will not be disappointed. It is an amazing time here at Talladega.
It is, man. I tell you, that's what I love about restrictor plate racing, is just being out there and the sight, the sounds of the cars. Speaking of speed, though, I know that, back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s, they were reaching speeds of 215 miles an hour. Do you ever feel like they'll get back to that, or do you feel like they're still going to be in that 190 range?
I think they're going to, I think that magic number is right around 200, and that's where they kind of want to keep them, at that 190 to 200 range. If you get up above 200 a little bit, that's fine, but I think that's kind of that magic range. We ran Rusty Wallace unrestricted here when there was a changeover of partners, and they wanted to, show the fastest cell phone in the world, and he got up to about 230-ish, I want to say, and he was like that's it. You just shut it down. I can't do any more than that. So, I think it's for safety, reasons, obviously, for the drivers, most importantly, but also for the fans that are in the stands. I was talking to somebody over the weekend. They said, "Why don't you ever do that?" And I said, "Well, we'd have to move everybody up to the towers, and we'd have to, so." Yeah. But it's just an amazing place. I know I've said that 1,000 times today, but
I can feel it.
It's special. A lot of people in the industry always say, "Hey, don't tell the other racetracks, but Talladega is my favorite." And I always say, "Oh, you tell all the pretty racetracks that." But this place truly is special and historic, and we don't forget our roots here at Talladega either.
Yeah.
You definitely know there's going to be a couple of insurance seminars happening April 21st. No pun intended with Geico being the sponsor, but there will be some insurance seminars.
Yeah, absolutely.
There will be some claims made for sure.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, Brian, we appreciate your time so much. People can head over to TalladegaSuperspeedway.com to check out all the information, get their tickets. This is an event you don't want to miss. We appreciate you painting such a beautiful picture for all of us down here in the Florida Panhandle, and appreciate your time hopping on with us on the Inside Drive.
Well, thank you very much for having me on, and good luck to everybody who, with their reaction time to try to get those pair of tickets to come on up here to see Talladega Superspeedway. Bring your tent. If you win those tickets, free camping for a week.
There you go. There you go. That's Brian Crichton. He's the president of the Talladega Superspeedway. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions. But there can only be one. ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials, Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus, live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive, across from the Navy base.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. So we're going to Talladega or what?
No kidding.
Talk about just, and it's a rural area, right? There's nothing there but the racetrack, is from what he sounds like. So they create their own experience in city, which is much different. A lot of these, these events that are in metropolises already, where you don't have all the space. Now, obviously, all the local businesses benefit that, but Talladega seems to really create the experience, which is pretty impressive.
2,700 acres?
Yeah, it's 2,700 acres of campground and parking.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of space. I've driven past it a couple times when we used to drive from South Carolina to Best Parents' house. We'd go across I-20, and before you got to, was it 65 heading up to North Alabama, when you would go on I-20, you'd see Talladega down there on the south side of I-20.
Well, and if you're flying out of Atlanta, most people, if you fly from Atlanta to L.A., you always go over Talladega Superspeedway, and at that point, you're already like 20 20,000 feet up in there, and you can still see that.
No, yeah, it's massive.
You can still see
2.66.
Yeah,
awesome.
2.66.
That's awesome. And you can get a free trip up there. You just got to make sure you listen. Started this morning. The keyword, I didn't know what to say. The keyword was called by the Coach James Hale Show this morning. And coming up at 12:15 in just a minute, less than a half an hour from now, we will call your name randomly generated, and how quick you give us a call back. 850-215-6290 will be your qualifying time, and the fastest qualifying times will win a pair of tickets to go up there to Talladega and enjoy all those amazing things. Kind of I was going to compare it to the Masters a little bit with the lower concession prices, really doing, like, making it good for the people. Obviously, getting a Masters ticket is one of the hardest tickets in sports,
right.
Unless you're willing to spend, a lot of money in the aftermarket. And it just kind of seemed like that was kind of their focus too, is getting new fans into the games. And maybe a little bit of a parallel between golf and NASCAR right now. Could you say that?
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, stale is probably not the right word, but it seems like they're trying to do more fan engaging things, more interaction, a lot more stuff going on to get, not just continue to get the people in the sport, but to get new viewers in the sport, right? Because like you said, NASCAR's been around for a while, and you kind of have the old guard of NASCAR fans.
Yeah.
You got the same thing on the golf side with the old guard of golf fans, and both, I would say golf is a little bit more volatile right now than NASCAR is, but both desperately needing to attract new fans and continue this engagement and get people coming to races and watching and tuning in. And I think golf's kind of in that same world.
And I'm trying. I love the super speedway, Talladega, Daytona. You get 45 lead changes. You get the big crash that, everybody's kind of looking for. And like I said, I'm trying hard from a fan standpoint to watch these road courses, Ryan, but maybe it takes some time. There's just not enough lead changes. There just really isn't.
You need more excitement.
Yeah, I need more excitement, need more drama. And I just don't think it's fair for some of these other teams to be grabbing up, random good road course guys and, like, putting them in a car for a week. I think, if you're not a good road course guy, get out there and learn how to drive that road course.
It's going to be in the playoffs this year from what Brian was saying, so maybe that'll change some of that tune a little bit.
Could.
Up there in Watkins Glen in New York.
There you
go. There you go. Well, and speaking of road races, we'll have some time here in the next couple minutes. We're going to go through our pick'em results. Unfortunately, all pick'em results lead through David, it seems like, in the last several weeks, so we just continue getting deeper and deeper. And Jay, I would say you had a good week, but it was probably one of the worst weeks you've had thus far. I didn't have one much better. I was saved by getting at least one of the Sweet 16 correct picks. So last week we did something a little bit different. We did, because our last show was Wednesday, we did how many of these seeds in the 1, 2s, and 3s will make it to the Sweet 16. And we had number 1s, number 2s, and number 3s. If you got the correct number, you get 2 points to our pick'em. How many total number 1 seeds made it to the Sweet 16?
Probably 2.
All 4.
Oh, and I picked 3.
You did, but you know who picked 4?
Oh, David did.
Ding, 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 that guy back there. You were so excited, too, because you thought you got it right.
No kidding.
Spoiler alert, you didn't get any of them right.
Oh, man.
All right, how many number 2 seeds made it to the Final Four?
3.
4. Guess who picked 4?
David Hayes.
Ding,
Hayes.
Ding, ding. Got a stat somewhere, too. I know. He's back there just predicting everything, that is for sure. And then last but not least, luckily we did this one, total number 3s. How many made it?
I would say 4.
It's not.
Okay, 3.
Nope. 2.
Okay.
And I got that one. So luckily I saved myself 2 points because I only got 3 right in the regular pick'em. You only got 2 right.
I think I picked 3 for that seed.
You did.
And Kentucky let me down.
Yep, in the first round. Absolutely. Let their fan base down, too. But I can't talk because Auburn was an absolute disaster. But anyway, going through
this makes me want to yell out loud, baby.
There you go. It's just bad when you have such high expectations. You're like, oh, it's 2019, we're even deeper. And then we talk about it all the time on the show, is putting yourself above the team. And I think that's what Chad Baker-Mazzaro did. Why elbow somebody, regardless of what they did to you, why do something so blatant right in front of the officials to jeopardize your team in a game where momentum is everything in basketball? And even I forget who it was after the game. One of the other Auburn players was like, I don't know what he was thinking.
That's not how you win championships.
No,
essentially, is what he said.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't win national championships elbowing people. Yeah. So I think that kind of gave Yale some added excitement and momentum. Like, oh, these guys are falling apart. We got them. And then obviously they shot very, very well as well. But How important are fundamentals in basketball? How important are free throws, Jay Henley?
Very important.
How many games were decided by free throws in these first 2 rounds? I'd say I don't have a number in front of me, but I'd be willing to throw out half.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Pretty close. I mean, and
maybe not quite as
well. If you go to through the full 40 minutes of the game, you count all of those free throws, then I would say more than half at that point.
I mean, in golf, it's a 6-foot putt. You're not going to win a golf tournament if you miss 6-foot putts.
No,
just like a free throw.
Justin Thomas, which I'm still pissed about this. We'll get to it in a second. Justin Thomas had the lead after Friday, and then he made 2 feet 11 inches worth of putts on Saturday.
There you go.
He had 38 putts, and he dropped, I think it was 12 strokes off the leaderboard.
Yep.
Putting is important.
Free throws.
So are free throws.
Yep.
That's who I picked, right? So he didn't do good.
No, he did. Compared to our guys.
Okay. Hey.
who both missed the cut. So that was another one of our picks.
Oh, so y'all didn't even have to watch Saturday at that point outside of Jay.
I kind of forgot there was a golf tournament on. You picked Tony Finau. He didn't make the cut. I picked Sam Burns, who got off to a good start but did miss the cut. JT shot one over for the tournament but made the cut. So David got another point from picking the Alabama guy.
Unbelievable.
What does it have to be an Alabama fan? Everybody thinks it's bad, but they're the only team right now in college sports to make the college football playoff and the Sweet 16.
How about that?
See? There you go.
Bammers.
For all the Ohio State fans out there, the ladies won the second national championship in the last 3 years in hockey.
Who did?
Ohio State.
Oh, really?
The Lady Buckeyes.
Oh.
Yeah. Dominant team. Do you know what they call the last 4 teams in the ice hockey tournament?
Don't think too hard on this.
It's so obvious you should know it.
It starts with an F.
Okay.
FF is the initials, the acronym.
The Final Four.
It's not the same as basketball. Jay, come on. Think about it. What do they play?
That was a pretty good guess.
It was a terrible guess because that's what they call the NCAA Final Four. It can't be that. What do they play on?
Ice.
Okay. What is ice? Is what type of water?
Frozen. I don't know.
Frozen 4.
Oh, okay.
Let it go.
Frozen 4.
Remind me never, ever, 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 ever to play Pictionary with you. Or charades or any of those games.
I don't know. I would like to do that because I don't care about winning in a game of charades. We're winning with the laughs at that point.
That's true. Nobody else would be able to focus.
I can't spell hockey, much less.
I just want to give the Ohio State fans in our area, because there's a lot of them, a big shout out for winning their second. Nice. And I think they've been in it 3 out of the last 4 years as well, which is hard to do because they do the same thing. They do a bracket. It's not as big as the college, but it gets all the way down to the Final Four. It's pretty exciting because you're just playing one game each round, which is tough.
And this is women's hockey?
Women's hockey.
Didn't know that existed.
It does.
Huh.
We have an Olympic team, women's hockey. Did you know that?
Did not.
There's also professional women's hockey as well.
Didn't know that.
You just said you didn't know women's hockey existed.
Oh, professional women's hockey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All of the above.
I got you.
All of the above.
Learning so much today.
See? That's why you come to the show. You get to learn. You get to learn. All right, real quick, going through the rest of these pick-ems. The first game we did was Michigan State and Mississippi State. 2 of us picked Mississippi State. 1 of us picked the Spartans. The Spartans got the dub. David Hayes off to a continued good start.
Oh, Sparta!
And then they lost in the next round, and Tom Izzo came out and said he will die trying to go deeper into the tournament next year. So if he can get some more recruits and people that are willing to stand on that sword with him, then it might happen. Yep. He's been there forever, it seems like. FAU Northwestern was the next game we picked. It was another. I tried to pick games that were close in spread. FAU did end up losing that one, so we did each get a correct pick in that one, taking the Northwestern Wildcats up there. But their run came to an end there in the second round.
I shouldn't have got a point on that one.
No, you did not.
Good,
we did.
Good.
We got a rare point. And then next game, Texas A&M and Nebraska. I picked Nebraska. Y'all picked Texas A&M, so you each got another one there. And then another solo win for David Hayes. The TCU-Utah State game. The Aggies got the dub as you and I both picked the Horned Frogs, and David got that one as well. I did get one solo win with Oregon taking down USC in the first round and then making a nice a chance potentially to win there on Saturday, but came to an end. But they did beat USC, South Carolina. They beat in the another SEC team out. Last but not least, or 2 more we picked, and none of us had Clemson winning that game as they are going to to the Sweet 16, highest seed left in the, or whatever you want to call it, lowest, highest, worst seed left in the Sweet 16 as they made it happen there. And then Texas was picked by David Hayes, and Colorado State was picked by us. So David Hayes got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7 right in that one, and we each only got 2.
Do you know in a golf match when you're like super down at the turn and you readjust?
Oh, you readjust the handicap?
I think we're there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
We're on
like a year into this, bro.
Yeah, getting close. And then, of course, on the NASCAR side of things, I did get one. Joey Logano finished highest out of our steady NASCAR pick. But guess who got the highest finisher in the road race?
William Byron.
Well, yes, but guess who got the out of us? David Hayes, because he picked Kyle Busch. You picked Chase Briscoe, and I picked Van Gisbergen. And Kyle Busch, I think, finished 8th or 9th in that one.
Oh, see, I was thinking that one of y'all had picked Ross Chastain, so I thought, yeah.
Yeah, you picked Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
I think.
That's what I wrote down. He did. Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now it's 173 to 157 to 129.
Yeah.
I keep trying to add more point values to get closer, and it just keeps going the other way. Even the golf pick you got out of us.
Yeah, no kidding.
But we'll add some more of the Sweet 16 games into our pick'em on Friday, as the Thursday games will have already happened. But we can pick both. We'll make it work out. But yeah,
David's just living right, man.
He is. Right. He knows how to pick them. That's for sure. But it's impressive.
I don't disagree with you there.
Number 1 and number 2 seeds, all 4. There's a statistic somewhere that says the last time that all number 1s and number 2s had made it to the Sweet 16, and I'll find that before our 1140 segment. We are coming up to it's that time, Jay.
Oh,
Afternoon Delight debrief. I've got a good one right off the get-go. I hope you've got some as well. And then, of course, coming up at 12:15, we'll announce our Race to Talladega qualifier. You'll give us a call, and you get your time in there, and as quick as you can do it, get you your best opportunity to win 2 tickets up there. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Monday. Some sun this afternoon and evening with a strong breeze coming out of the southeast at 21 miles per hour and look for the high to be 73. Tonight, there will be some clouds with the temperature reaching 67. Mostly cloudy in the morning, followed by a likelihood of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 71. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Hammond, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
You hear it first. Sports Talk right now. Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I know it seems a bit overwhelming at first.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
Something makes me think you'll get used to it.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the beautiful Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Maybe not so much today, but the weather is getting warmer, and when this wind dies down, I saw there was a lot of boats out on the water this past weekend, no doubt about that. If you need to go get a new one, get yours fixed, or if you're just done, you don't want to do it, you want to sell it, Kramer Marine and Outdoor can take care of all three of those things for you. They have a Yamaha Master Certified mechanic on staff. They'll come right to your dock or your property and get you back out on the water. If they can't, they'll tow it back to the dealership and get it fixed up for you. And like I said, if you don't want to do it anymore and you're tired of the boat, they'll pick it up for you. They'll fix it up if it needs to, and they'll take care of selling it and all that good stuff. And while you're there, check out Bill Kramer GM. Lots of new vehicles in stock, up to $20,000 off certain vehicles. They've got a great service department. They sell tires at cost. And on the boat side of things, Jay, what are the boats they sell? Do you remember?
Seabourn, Sundance, Skeeter, and I'm missing one. Come on.
I think it got Steve Irwin, right? Or did you already say Stingray?
No.
Oh, that's not one.
But that's good.
Stingray?
No. It's like you don't hear what we say.
I know.
It's awesome.
I need to check his headphone levels.
What's the University of Richmond mascot?
That does not help.
For me, it was very easy, but
the Spiders.
Spiders. Yep. Yes, I'm going to get that. I need to write.
Well, usually I only test you on Skeeter. You know, I have sent you the link to this Google spreadsheet, by the way.
I'm sure you have.
And you can pull it up and know the answers to all of these questions. But that wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah. My bad.
No, that wouldn't be as fun. But yes, go check out Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor right there at the corner of Frankford and 23rd Street. All right, Jay, it's the Afternoon Delight debrief time. I got a good one. I can't take credit for it because Keith sent it to me over the weekend. But this one, I've been thinking about this one until today. This came from a Twitter post from a gentleman named Colin Rugg. It said, just in, California man arrested for allegedly eating a severed leg that he took from a pedestrian who was struck by a train. The incident happened in Wasco, California. According to police, 27-year-old Resendo Tellez removed a leg from an Amtrak station. Tellez was seen eating the leg, according to witnesses, and was later booked into the jail for removing or mutilating human remains. Obviously, sadly, the man that was struck by the train died. That's very sad. Our condolences to the family. But the video in this Twitter thing, you see the guy holding the leg walking down the street.
No way.
Kid you not?
Oh, my gosh. What in the world? And is there a video of him eating it?
Yeah, they blur out the leg. I'm looking at it right now. I'll send you the Twitter post.
Oh, my gosh.
That is disgusting.
What's the moral of that story, Jay?
I mean, at least put it in the oven before or something. No, I don't.
That was not the moral.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Dare.
Say what?
Dare.
Yep. Drug abuse, resistance education.
I feel like we've had this conversation.
We did many months ago.
Just you never see anybody wearing Dare shirts anymore.
Yeah, because you go to California, New York, it's like, whatever, do what you
that's true.
Want.
Here, you need some help. Here
got
you go.
A vending machine for you.
Yeah, that is true. Man, things have changed.
Dare to do them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so open. I mean, it's crazy.
And now people are eating legs.
Man, it's a crazy world.
It is. All right, you got one. I know.
You ain't topping that one, though.
No.
We started off high, a high note on that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
10 minutes. Don't forget, if you're listening, if your name gets called, give us a call, 850-215-6290, as the race to Talladega will be ready to rock.
Yes.
Cool.
How about a spring break bartender earns up to $6,000 a night slapping patrons? I mean, can you imagine?
Is this at the place at Pier Park?
Fort Lauderdale, actually. This is a Florida.
Yeah,
Florida
I
story.
assumed it was either Florida or severed legs or California.
Florida.
Crazy stories are Florida.
They are. Fort Lauderdale bartender Ayanna Callis reportedly earns up to $6,000 a night selling her Hurricane Ayanna shots, which involve liquor followed by a slap and a pitcher of water over the head. She has told news outlet that she is earning more this season as Miami cracks down on spring breakers and the party moves north to Fort Lauderdale.
Ah, yes.
$6,000 to slap people and give them shots of liquor.
I could do that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Only in America.
That's true. Fort Lauderdale, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, Miami's really been cracking down on spring break. They made it like extremely expensive to park, price gouging. They're just trying to, they had a rough spring break last year.
And truck squatting here, don't do it here.
Yeah. I saw the Bay County Sheriff's Office. They're on fire.
They are.
Taking care of those squatters. How do you see out of the front of one of those?
You can't. I mean, not that I've ever been in one.
Yes, you have.
No, I have not.
Can we get somebody to get you to get your truck squatted?
That would be hilarious.
That'd be good.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, you see them. All of a sudden, they were all here.
I know.
It was wild. It was like the Jeep week, but squatted truck week. But see, squatted truck is confusing to me because when I think of squatted, I think you're getting lower.
Right.
Right? But they call that squatted as in like raising or lowering. Interesting.
And when I was growing up, that's what everybody wanted to do is lower their Honda Accord. I mean, they couldn't go over a railroad track. You know, it's like, oh, we got to like detour around it. But now it's like squatting. I found out what squatting was this weekend.
Well, squatting is a bad thing in California, too, if you're trying to sell your home. They have squatter laws out there.
What does that mean?
If somebody's in your house squatting, you can't kick them out.
Oh,
and then you can't sell your home.
That's right.
Yeah.
Squatting.
Wild.
And that's just in California?
And there might be other states that have similar laws, but the only reason I know about that is because I remember Beth had a deal, and they were waiting to get those people out of their house to close that deal so they could buy a house here.
And so anyone could just like go in the house.
There's some,
there, it's like,
there's some cities that like protect the squatters, like squatters' rights. It's completely backwards, in my opinion. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, and forget your opinion. That should be a fact, right? Like someone paid for this, and then now all of a sudden it's like, well, I've moved in here, so
yeah,
this is mine now.
Mine now.
Thank God I live in Bay County.
That's right.
Finders keepers, right?
That's true. I don't know. Man, they don't have to pay the taxes on it either, it sounds like.
Yeah.
There's no squatter tax. Maybe there is. I don't know. There probably is. It's California. Yeah, it's California. There is a squatter's tax, I am sure. All right, I got another one. It's from UPI.com, which is just a plethora of great stories. This is from March 27th. The title of this article is NC Officials Warn Residents There Could Be Bears Under Their Homes. Which, if you think about it, it's pretty logical because bears hibernate in the wintertime, and under a home is a great place. But the video shows wildlife officials in North Carolina are warning residents to be aware of an unusual potential household hazard: bears waking up under the house. Justin McVeigh, a district wildlife biologist with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, said officials have noticed an uptick in recent years of the bears making their winter homes under houses and decks. When people think of dens, they always think of caves. But that's not really the case. He said bear dens also sometimes found in crawl spaces and backyard brush piles. When I started out here 12 years ago, I may have gotten 1 or 2 calls about it. Now we probably hear about 10 to 15 of those cases. He said wildlife officials might evict the unwanted squatters. There you go, full circle. Depending on the time of year, he said their officials are also hesitant to relocate mother bears with their very young cubs. The fun part of the job is to convince the homeowner that it's okay to have a bear under their house. He said bears usually vacate their winter dens voluntarily around late April or late March, early April. So we're about to be in the bear evicting season. California's Bear League shared video in January of a Bear League being evicted from underneath a North Lake Tahoe home. The Bruin had accidentally been barricaded into a crawl space by a handyman who installed some wires.
All right, so we have found out that black fights back, right? If it's a black bear, you're supposed to fight back.
This is, hold on, PSA, this is just coming from you.
Okay.
None of us have condoned this strategy when it comes to bears, besides you.
But let's just scenario this out. If one's coming at you, are you going to round kick and like try to take his legs out, or are you going to try to like punch you? Like, what are you going to do to fight back?
I'm not fighting back.
You're not?
I've watched a lot of documentaries, and I still think playing dead is your best option. You may get torn to pieces, but maybe you won't die.
All right.
I feel like if you fight back, you're. But I've seen some where like some guys, you stare them in the eyes and you come at them, but that's a gamble.
That is a gamble.
The bear may turn around and run, but if he doesn't.
I mean, I just think if you swipe the legs, like then you can get to a tree.
How you don't be swiping the legs, 4 of them, of a 500+ pound animal?
Just take one. I think all he needs is just take one.
I watch dogs walk around with 3 legs all the time. I think you got to take all four of the legs of the bear out in this one.
I mean, I'm not condoning like animal violence here. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying,
I don't think it's animal violence if you're fighting a bear with your bare fists and feet. I think that's bear violence.
Humans,
yeah, towards a human. Yeah. Moral of the story.
Moral of the story.
Leave the bear alone and let it leave.
If you have a crawl space, check your crawl space periodically.
And if you find a bear, imagine that, right? You're living in your house and you notice one down there. And now are you just on edge the rest of the time until it leaves?
Yeah.
You can't have dogs.
No. You want to talk in the crawl space?
Yeah, or under a deck.
Yeah.
My dogs are stupid enough they'd go try to attack the bear. No, it'd not be good. It'd not be good. But yeah, I mean, would you just be nervous the whole time? Like, would you sleep at night?
No.
I mean, they do hibernate for a long period of time, so he's a sleepy bear.
Yeah, that's true.
Just give him some honey.
Yeah, there you go.
Make him your friend.
Find him a donkey.
Huh? The donkey. That's a good
Did you get it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, donkey.
Good. Just making sure. Yeah, that's the sound they do typically make. You got any back there, David?
Yeah, I got one over here from Fox 35. A Florida man has found himself behind bars after he allegedly shot his roommate 10 times during an argument over cats.
Whew.
Glenn White was 59, arrested and charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon after the incident that unfolded on March 8th at a home in Fort Myers. Deputies responded to the home in reference to a shooting and found a woman inside with multiple gunshot wounds. Oh, I didn't even know that it was a woman that he shot over cats. Multiple gunshot wounds on her body. A man later identified as White was also inside the house. The woman told deputies at the time that White was the person who shot her. White was detained as other deputies rendered aid to the woman, who was eventually transported to a local hospital. She was shot 10 times, 7 in her lower extremities and twice in her ribs, once on her fingers. The deputies learned that the shooting stemmed from an argument the two were having in the days leading up to the incident. White was recently evicted from his home, and the woman allowed him to stay at her house. White moved in there with his 3 cats and brought a cat home every day after that, for a total of 6 cats. The woman said she wanted the cats to live outside instead of inside, and on March 8th, she got tired of having all the cats inside the residence and told White she was going to place them outside in the lanai. White allowed her to go inside his room to look for the cats, and that's when he made his way to that area and stood in the door frame of his bedroom. When the woman turned around to face White, he allegedly began to shoot at her. He said, "I'm going to kill you," expletive there. He then pointed the gun at her head while she begged to call 911. She made her way into the dining room to grab her cell phone to call 911, but White slapped the phone out of her hand, according to deputies.
Wow.
Squatters, again.
Essentially, right?
That's kind of the theme today on the ADD segment here on the Inside Drive.
27 lives turned into 54 lives.
Yeah.
That's
times 2.
Yeah. 9 lives. Times 6. He had 6 cats.
Yeah. Started with 3, ended up with 6. That's just wild.
10 shots, though. That's what I want to know. Like, is he just shooting at her? Like, obviously didn't seem like he was trying to kill her.
I think he started from the bottom, now he's there.
Yeah, that's true. just kind of going up with the recoil.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Interesting.
man. Crazy.
Cats, bears.
Yeah.
He had to be on drugs, too. It doesn't say anything about it.
I feel like the moral of all of our afternoon delight stories like that are typically lead back to drug abuse resistance education.
Dare not to do drugs, kid.
Dare not.
Yes, I agree.
Did you ever have to sing a song? We did.
Do you remember any of it?
Not really.
I don't either.
Oh, boy, that seems like an outro song.
Yeah, just you getting up on stage with your elementary thing. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's generations just don't change. You know what I'm saying? It's like back in the day, I would go into bathroom, during breaks at school, and you would smell cigarette smoke. Well, now it's probably vape smoke, I would think. I mean, it's just
you seem to know a lot about this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Marlboro Reds and a white snake jacket.
There you
Griffin
go.
High, class of 99.
You got my
98.
98.
Yeah, my bad.
Marlboro's rolled up my white T-shirt.
And you put it into the rolled up.
Yep, just like John Travolta.
See, there's some utilitarian things that you can do that you don't even realize.
That's right.
Guess what time it is, Jay?
What time is it?
Game time. No, it's 12:15, and that means if you hear your name, which we are about to announce, it is time for the race to Talladega. Give us a call, 850-215-6290. Get your qualifying time in there quickly. When we're done with the contest, the fastest qualifying times will win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500 up there at the beautiful Talladega Superspeedway. And the name for today is Don Walton. Don Walton, give us a call, 850-215-6290, and your qualifying time will get you in there, the first one of the contest, so you can set the bar pretty high, 850-215-6290. The clock is ticking. What do you think, Jay?
Oh, we're waiting on Don.
No, we can keep talking.
Oh, okay.
The phone still works while we talk.
It's
amazing how technology works. Yeah, Don. The former lobster mobster. I know Don well. He's a good listener, good friend of the program.
He's already at 10 seconds already.
20.
And
20. Oh, shoot.
Yep. The first one's always, a little bit of a gamble.
I got you.
But yeah. All right, I got one more since we got about 5 minutes left. This is not really gruesome or stupid. It's just kind of silly. So, and Maine baseball team officially breaks whoopie pie record. Figured that'd make you laugh. It did. Bingo. On March 25th, that's today, the story came out today, a Maine baseball team announced it's officially taken the Guinness World Record for the longest line of whoopie pies. First off, do you know what a whoopie pie is?
No, I was about to ask
I don't know
that.
what a whoopie pie is either. Maybe it'll tell us in the story. The Portland Sea Dogs teamed up with the Maine Whoopie Pie Festival and Wicked Whoopies to attempt the record for the longest line of whoopie pies in June of last year. But the process of having it verified as a Guinness World Record took several months. I think they used the word whoopie there about 6 times in that paragraph. The team officials say the official certificate will be presented to the team on Tuesday, tomorrow. The 2,121 whoopie pies were arranged in a straight line before being recognized into a image of a massive whoopie pie and served to attendees at the team's baseball field. Whoopie pies, a renowned Maine delicacy, are comprised of two cookie-shaped pieces with cream filling sandwich in the middle.
Looks like an Oreo a little bit. I've got.
You know who would know about a whoopie pie?
Who?
Steve Wiley.
Yes,
being from Maine that he is.
Whoopie's another Urban Dictionary term for.
I don't even know if it's Urban Dictionary. I think it's just in the regular dictionary.
I got you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But these, they look good.
They do look good. Creamy, moist,
cookie.
There
you go.
Marshmallow, fluff filling.
Yeah. Whoopie pie.
Whoopie pie.
I was thinking of like the pies that you get hit in the face with, but I think that's just like whipped cream, isn't it?
It
and
is.
Pie crust.
Double Dare back in the day. You remember that?
Double Dare.
They would get.
They get slimed.
Yeah, and slimed.
What was that? What was the guy's name? Mark Summers?
Dude,
is that his name?
You got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
David, you watch Double Dare? You might be a little on the younger side.
I'll have to check that out.
It was like a Nickelodeon game show back in the day when they did live shows at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, like Legends of the Hidden Temple, Double Dare.
Yeah.
I don't know any others off the top of my head, but Double Dare was good.
That was a good one. Man, great memories.
Yeah. A lot simpler back then.
It was.
Simpler times. Simpler times.
Bring back Double Dare.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, I watched that.
Yep. See? Yeah. Mark Summers. Didn't he have OCD or something like that, too, which was like really weird? I think they did a documentary on that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Which, that's one way to overcome it. Just watch a mess be done every day when you go to work.
Well, in Price is Right, Bob Barker, he would hug on you and everything, and then Drew Carey, I think he's got like a deal where he just, he won't give you a hug.
There's rumor that Drew Carey may be in the Happy Gilmore, too.
Oh, really?
To replace Bob Barker. As his actual character, just like Bob was, too.
That's right, yeah. Drew will never be Bob.
No. Mm-mm. He can keep trying, but no. There will only ever be one Bob Barker.
Drew can't beat up Adam Sandler like Bob Barker did.
No.
There's no way.
No, absolutely not. Hey, real quick, Jay, before we go to our break, and coming up in the next segment, we'll be joined by Chad Folsom. He's the head women's basketball coach at Benedictine College. We had the opportunity to go on the Be Still Golf podcast last Wednesday, right? So we haven't been on the show since it.
Yeah, that's right.
And one of the previews of that podcast was your match that you had with the Be Still Golf guys, and it was yourself and Michael Shears, right?
It was.
Tell everybody real quick about how that match went.
So it was a 2 versus 3. It was me and Michael versus the 3 Be Still Golf guys. You can follow these guys on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. But that match is going to drop on YouTube here in the next couple of weeks. You can follow their YouTube channel as well. But yeah, we played the Tips Saturday afternoon. Windy. 7,500 yards with the wind is what I've calculated.
Wind adjusted.
Yeah. We played a scramble. The 3 Be Still Golf guys, they're decent golfers. They're getting better. But they played the number 4 tees.
The forward tees, a big point.
Forward tees.
Yeah.
And like I said, we did
about a 2,500 yard difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I won't.
They can check out the podcast for more details. But who came out on top?
We came out on top, and man, it came down to a crazy finish. Crazy finish.
Awesome. So you guys won it, but the best way to check out, we'll keep everybody updated when that podcast or that video comes out, because I'm excited to see this. But now you're 2-0 against the Be Still Golf guys.
Yes, I am. Yep.
Impressive stuff there, Jay. And kudos to you and Michael for winning that match. That's a big disadvantage. You guys playing from all the way back, I don't care how good you are at golf, versus somebody playing from the forward tees and 3 people, 1 extra shot. Kudos to you for winning that one.
And these guys, man, like these social media golf guru guys, they've got $16,000 of equipment that they bring bring to. They've got GoPros. They've got. I mean, it's insane.
It's a full-time job to do that kind of stuff, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. But when we get back, we'll be joined by Chad Folsom, the head women's basketball coach of Benedictine College. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Set your alarm clock to wake up with the Coach Hales Show on ESPN Northwest Florida. In-depth local and college sports from expert insiders and a dash of controversy.
Can be deadly.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9.
Nothing says good morning like a drunken human alarm clock.
You're live from the J. Michaels studio.
We all know he loves the Florida Gators, but that's okay.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I can control the world.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Partly cloudy the remainder of the day with a wind around 21 miles per hour coming out of the southeast and 72. Tonight, look for some clouds with a temperature near 67. Tomorrow, a high around 73 and mostly cloudy in the morning, followed by a chance of thunderstorms. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
In the jewelry business, there is no substitute for experience. David Adamson has over 46 years of experience, 32 of those in Lynn Haven. Designing and creating fine jewelry is more than a job for David, it's a joy. If you're looking for a spectacular jewelry design that says you, or perhaps you need your jewelry repaired, look no further than David Adamson Designer Jewelry. All work is done in-house and always to your complete satisfaction. Stop in today at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Ohio Avenue in Lynn Haven. They're on Facebook and at pcjeweler.com.
The Cup Series sees its first repeat winner of the season. I'm Kyle Rickey. That story next on NASCAR Hot Pass.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Keep up with all of the action during the 2024 NASCAR season with NASCAR Today.
William Byron has won the Daytona 500.
Every weekday throughout the season, we'll bring you the latest news and insights.
At that point, I really had in my mind, okay, we can really win this.
As we count down the days to championship weekend in Phoenix.
It's surreal still. I can't believe I'm in this position.
I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series saw its first repeat winner of the year as Hendrick Motorsports driver William Byron won the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas yesterday. Byron led a race-high 42 of the race's 68 laps en route to the victory, his 12th career win, and his first since the season opening Daytona 500 in February. Behind Byron at the finish were Christopher Bell in second, Ty Gibbs in third, Alex Bowman fourth, and Tyler Reddick completed the top five. The race had just 2 caution flags, both for stage breaks, although there were several spins during the event, including Kyle Larson, who finished 18. I'm Kyle Rickey. This is NASCAR Hot Pass on the Motor Racing Network.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue?
We know that under the 99% rate, the U.S. economy
Then tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is how we do it.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I want to give a shout out to Chris Fall for making this connection for us here on the Inside Drive. We're excited to welcome to the show. He's the head women's basketball coach at Benedictine College out there in Kansas. His name is Chad Folsom, and he is down at the NAIA Women's Championship Tournament right now. Chad, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, it was awesome to have you here on the show, and appreciate Chris making the connection so we can talk a little bit about basketball. First question I want to ask you is, you're down there at the tournament right now, the National Women's Tournament, and you're part of that committee. So what are you kind of doing there this week for this tournament?
Yeah, for sure. So the NAIA Women's Basketball has their round of 64. They run it just like the NCAA tournament there, and they have regional sites, and then the final 16 all end up in Sioux City, Iowa. So that's where we are now in Sioux City, Iowa. We actually have the Final Four tonight. So, but as a member of the tournament committee, there's 3 of us coaches, all NAIA women's head basketball coaches that are here, and we sit down there on the scores table with the representative of the NAIA, and we're there to kind of help with any issues that might come up and be there to welcome the coaches, the teams, get them in and out of locker rooms, get out stats, and just kind of right now, I'm actually here at the arena right now. We got practices going on. So the 4 teams that are playing tonight each get an hour on the court. So we're here just kind of monitoring and just being part of it. But it's great to be part of, and it's an exciting, of course, environment. And playing for a national championship is just, what everybody wants to do. So it's pretty awesome to be here.
Yeah, that's really good. And like we were talking about in the earlier show, I mean, there's so many different levels of basketball, and they're all so competitive. It's just so exciting at each one of them. And you've been up there at Benedictine College for quite some time now, almost a little over 20 years.
Yeah, this was year 23 this year. So yeah, and I know, right? Benedictine has been a great place to be, and it actually is my hometown. So it's been nice to grow roots and get back to family and be coaching at a great institution and a great small college and in a town I'm familiar with. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things about being a coach you hear all the time. We talk to a lot of coaches here on the show is your life is coaching. But for you to have an opportunity to be in your hometown, I mean, that's got to be just a blessing to be able to do one thing you love, but then also be able to spend so much time with your family.
Yeah, for sure. Growing up in Atchison, I definitely didn't want to go to Benedictine. I wanted to get out of town. So, I went to Grinnell College in Iowa, played basketball, ran track up there. It was about 4 hours away. But coming back to Benedictine's been like you said, a blessing. My wife graduated Benedictine. When we came here, we had 1 child. Now we've got 5. The oldest is 23, youngest is 13. So my parents live in Atchison, and so they've been able to see their grandkids grow up, which has been a total blessing, and awesome. My wife's got family in the area too, so it's been we've loved it. So that's why I probably never left so far. So it's been just a great place to be.
Chad, was there a particular event in your life or a particular person that kind of led you into this coaching career that you have going on?
Yeah, I would say I played college basketball, like I said, at Grinnell College in Iowa, Division III school. Coach Dave Arsenault was the coach up there when I was there, and he was kind of known for running the system, which was, back in the day, Paul Westphal kind of basketball, up and down, pressing, running, scoring 110 points a game, just flying up and down, shooting threes, and they still do that there. So, however, when I graduated, I was like, I don't think I want to get into coaching, and then what happened is I went out to the University of Utah, got my master's degree in sports psychology. And when I was out there, I was just immersed in great basketball. At the time, the University of Utah was in the Final Four. Rick Majerus was the coach. 3 players played in the NBA. Michael Doliak, Andre Miller, Keith Van Horn are all out there. The Jazz are playing the Bulls in the finals, with Michael Jordan. And then you got Stockton Malone. So, I don't know, I was just immersed in great basketball and got connected with a high school coach out there because I was working Rick Majerus' basketball camps the whole time I was out there, and I became his assistant coach. And then coaching, I started to get the itch, I guess, after I'd been away from playing for 3 years, and got my first opportunity to go to Lamar, Colorado, and I was the assistant men's basketball coach and head golf coach, and I lived in the dorms and made like $8,000 and kind of started it right there. And then crazy start, but everybody's got to start somewhere, right? And work your way up, Then the next year, the head coach moved on, Greg Young, and I took over as the head coach. So I was 25 years old, running a junior college men's program, and was there for 3 years, and like I said, we started our first child, got married while I was out there, and then ended up like we wanted to get closer to home. And opportunity to coach at Benedictine opened up, and I had to make that decision whether I wanted to switch from coaching guys to coaching women, and it's worked out great. So, the rest is history. But,
kudos to all that success, and like you said, you always got to start somewhere, and that's part of that journey that has led you to be such a successful coach. I want to circle back because this is one of the things that Chris was telling me a little bit about. Your time at Grinnell College and the program, they are famous kind of for this. You mentioned it briefly, kind of the run and gun system, Dave Arsenal at Grinnell College, and all these points in it. And obviously this was, a little while ago, back in the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think some of the things that this or what have led to where kind of the game is now?
Yeah, he was it was all about shooting a three. At that time, my freshman year, we were Coach Arsenal's first recruited class. So he was trying the system out with us as freshmen, and I tell you what, we didn't have much talent, and we were young and getting run out of the gym most nights. And the next year, Coach said, "What do you guys want to do?" We're like, "Not that." We're not like all the running involved in practice and whatnot. Get in shape, and we actually flipped and went the other way that year. Went where we held the ball. It was a 45-second shot clock. We held it for 35 seconds before we could shoot. I remember getting chewed out for shooting with 25 seconds in there. It's like, wait a minute. But we got the first 500 season in Grinnell history in like 30-something years. So, things went pretty well. But then my senior year was the year we got back to it. And that was the first winning season in 30-plus years there at the school. When Dave was, his fifth year there, I guess, our fourth year. And, we averaged 110 points a game then, and we had two guys averaging 35 points a game, and neither one of them played together. So, we were rotating 5 at a time and even playing 15, 16, players, and trying to wear the other team out, trying to just put up numbers, give up, you press, give up a layup, get the ball back, fire up a three. So we're just kind of thinking we're going to exchange threes for twos, and in the end, our 17 are going to wear out year 7. Or 8 or whatever you're playing with, and just played fast. So, it was exciting, and that's kind of the game, nowadays, especially NBA, all about threes or twos, getting layups or getting threes, but yeah, it was definitely an experience that probably shaped what we do a little bit, but
that was going to be my follow-up question. How much of that strategy, I was kind of looking at the strategy, like you said, the first possible shot is the best shot, where three-point field goal attempts are preferred over shorter shots. Shoot as many threes as you can. In terms of defense, giving an uncontested layup is better than a shot clock violation. Always double-team the person with the ball. Every player goes to the shooter but the shooter goes for the offensive rebound, and then offensive rebounds should be sent back out for another three-point attempt, not a shorter putback for 2 points. So how much of that strategy has been in your coaching career since you started? Little bits and pieces here and there?
A little bits and pieces. I do have the mentality. We like to prep, but the one big difference, we also do shoot the three, but we're not firing up the first one usually. We will in transition because we do like to get out and run. We do like to push the ball. I do like to use a bench. We do rotate 10 or 11, and we do try to, wear people out with pressure. But we will execute. If we don't have that quick shot in the first few seconds of transition, we're going to execute. And we're going to defend. I think the biggest difference is that I'm a true believer in defense. Defense, I always feel like will win you a championship. So, we're not pressing to give up layups. We're pressing to turn you over or take time off the clock or, not allow you much shot clock once you do break it. But I'd say I have little bits and pieces of it, but definitely we're not full on Grinnell style, that's for sure.
Chad, I'm entering my first year as a basketball coach for some 14-year-old boys. I've got 9 of them this year. Any words of wisdom to a 43-year-old first-timer basketball coach?
You say 9-year-olds? Is that what you said you're working with?
14-year-olds.
Oh, 14?
Yeah.
Okay. 9 or 14. I would say definitely you want to work fundamentals. I feel like kids these days, they watch a lot of ESPN, and they're all about, the highlights and stuff. But I feel like you got to work the fundamentals, teach them how to handle the ball, shoot, pass, play defense. I think those are the skills they're going to need when they get into high school and college. And a lot of kids, when they get to college nowadays, you're seeing they don't have a lot of that background. So I would definitely say drill those fundamentals with them for sure. And I think any program, any team that's successful also, you just got to build that teamness. You know, you got to get them to like each other. You got to get them to care about each other. You got to get them to play for each other. You know, I think that's big. So,
how much percentage of a time would you give? Like, let's say I have 10 kids, and how much in practice, if I have an hour, doing 5 versus 5 and then doing fundamental drills? Do you feel like it's more 80% fundamental drills? Or 100?
No, I would. You're definitely going to need some 5-on-5. You know, that's where they learn, you know, just how to play, you know, what to look for and stuff. So I would say you're probably, you know, 60-40 maybe fundamentals and play. I do think they do need to play. They do need to get up and down. They do need to work, you know, get in situations where they got to know what to do when that happens. So,
yeah,
you know, yeah, I'd say, especially if you only have an hour, I'd definitely 60-40 probably.
Yeah, there you go. We hear it all the time, and we talk to a lot of coaches. How often do we hear fundamentals? We were talking about it earlier in the show, Chad, about the NCAA tournament going on right now, and specifically to Auburn and lack of ability to make free throws down the stretch when it matters, and that's a fundamental thing, shooting free throws. How much time do you dedicate with your teams on shooting free throws, or is that more on the player to get in the gym on their own and put the extra effort and the reps in?
I say that's both. You know, you definitely got to shoot them, and definitely, like you said, it's a big part of the game. You know, some kids though, you know, just mentally struggle no matter what. But you know, when we do them in practice, we do a lot where there's something riding on it.
Yeah.
You know, or you got to run for it, or you know, something. So there's always some sort of pressure. You know, but you definitely got to get in the gym outside of practice and get more reps. You know, shooting is all about reps and you know, getting confidence. And the more you shoot, the more you get those reps, the better you're going to be. But other key fundamentals, though, like I said too, when you mentioned that too, it's rebounding. Rebounding is a big part of the game too. You know, you got to be able to box out. You know, I see so many high school games these days. My daughter's in high school, and her team and the boys' team, it's like, man, they just don't box. You know, it's like, well, you're not boxing, and you just leave it for chance. You're not going to rebound. So, you know, we work a lot. Our team's always been one of the top rebounding teams in our league, and we work a lot on fundamentals of, you know, just rebounding the ball, both sides, offense and defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fundamentals matter, reps matter, all that important stuff like you were talking about. One quick question for you. I was just curious. You coached on the men's side of things, and you've been coaching on the ladies' side for 22-plus years. What I don't want to say what do you enjoy doing more, but what do you see the biggest differences between coaching a group of young men versus coaching a group of young women?
You know, that's a great question. I think the game these days is getting very much more similar. I mean, you've got a lot more ladies out there that can create and make shots off the dribble, not necessarily needing screens and executing. You know, you'd see that more and more. So I think, you know, when you teach the game, I teach it the same. You know, I haven't really changed, you know, what I expect, you know, and how we get after it defensively, where we are position-wise, all that's about the same, you know. But I feel like the biggest difference from coaching guys and gals is building that teamness. You know, I feel like for our teams that have been, you know, we've had a lot of success, but I feel like it's about, they got to like each other. You know, gals especially need to like each other on and off the court. And if they do that and they really have that same respect, it's going to show on the court. I feel like guys, they may not like each other, but they can put it aside and get on the court and play, and then, you know, whatever. But I feel like that's a big difference I found, is that building teamness, building that family camaraderie is super important on the female side.
And it's funny you say that. One of our good friends, and she comes on the show all the time, is Amy Bond. She's the women's golf coach at Florida State. And when she recruits new players, one of the things that she does is talk to her current players to find out if that new player will gel, will fit, because they spend a lot of time together. And it's the exact same point you said. She won't recruit people if players on her current team think that person won't fit their culture, that teamness, that mold. And interesting to see you kind of echo that same point, and how important that is to be successful on the court. That culture, the teamness, all that good stuff is certainly paramount. That's for sure. Yeah.
Totally. You know, I feel like that's been our secret over these 23 years. You know, we've been to nationals 10 times, and, you know, been in the top of our conference, you know, 18 times in the top 4. We're averaging 21 wins a season. I feel the biggest key has been the type of kids we recruit. You know, we're looking for great people. You know, that's first and foremost. And I feel like you surround yourself with great people, you can't help but succeed. You know, that's kind of our mantra. But
no doubt, and obviously it's proof is in the pudding with the success you've had up there. That is for sure. Hey, Chad, we've run out of time. Enjoy the tournament there, the National Championship Final Four, all that good stuff going on at the NAIA tournament. I believe you said Sioux City, Iowa, if I remember that correctly.
That's right. Yep.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time and glad we were able to connect, and we'd love to have you on the show again in the future.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day and good luck at the event. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back. ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. The race to Talladega. Then at 12:15 and 5:15, listen for your name called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to Talladega, right here from ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
ESPN Northwest Florida is an active member of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We want to introduce the newest members to the Beach Chamber: BFG Productions, PCB, Bones Heating and Cooling, Custom Granite Kitchens and Baths, Kelly Deanna Designs, On Harrison Accounting and Consulting Services, Performance Food Service Valdosta, Premier Coast Advisors, and Snelling Staffing Services. Congratulations from the only local sports talk station, ESPN Northwest Florida. Krispy Kreme Donuts hatches 4 new mini donuts for spring. Try the mini robin's egg, or how about the mini hatching chick, or the mini strawberry egg. Last, by no means least, is the mini Cadbury bird's nest. All 4 are new this spring in the mini donut spring selection, only at Krispy Kreme Donuts, next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street in Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan since 1937. Krispy Kreme Donuts, where you get them hot.
We're starting fresh.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, Farm to Radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. Right here in Gangster's Paradise, you listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. What does every coach always say to us, Jay?
Culture.
And?
Make sure they mesh well.
Go to David. Fundamentals.
Fundamental.
Culture and fundamentals. I know. Culture and fundamentals. We hear it from every coach, no matter what level it is.
Yeah. That's it.
Culture and fundamentals.
Learned a lot from that 20 minutes with Chad.
We're going to have him on the show again because he's just been very successful at every level he's been at, and just a really good dude. And I appreciate Chris Fall connecting to him because I got a lot more questions for him as well. So I'd love to get another shot at him and another interview because that was really, really cool. But fundamentals and culture.
Yes, sir.
I think culture may be even more important than fundamentals.
It could be. I mean,
in certain aspects,
right?
Because in team sports.
Yeah.
And golf is a team sport until you get to the, that highest level. But it's just, if you don't have a good culture in sports, work, whatever it may be, you're not going to be successful. There's no way around it. You have to have good culture.
Yeah.
Now, basketball, maybe on some of these where you've got a couple superstars and the culture may be bad, maybe you can overcome it a little bit. But I still think culture is paramount to everything.
Yeah.
And that's how you win. You win as a team, you lose as a team. But you spend a lot of time together. I hear it from all these travel ball coaches and stuff. They're on the road. It's their family away from their family. They're together all the time. You have to have good rapport, good culture to be successful on the diamond, on the court, on the field, on the rink, whatever it may be. That's so important. It gets echoed over and over again from every coach we talk about.
Yeah.
Spend time working on reps. You cannot get enough reps. Well, what did Gordon Blakely say about Ronald Acuna? How many swings did he take a day?
270, if I remember correctly.
I think it was 250, but I like 270 too.
Yeah.
Either way, that many reps a day, just taking swings.
Yeah.
Shooting free throws, shooting 3-pointers. Just reps.
Yeah. And Caitlin Clark, for instance. I mean, I had a...
Did you see her dad yelled at her from the stands the other day?
I love that, man.
She's scrappy.
Yeah. Her dad told her to stop complaining.
Yeah. There you go.
It was wild. Just reminded me of all these youth sports.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's obviously the all-time leading scorer. So,
right.
But yeah, she was getting a little excited there on the that first round game.
Yeah.
First round game. Second round game.
Yeah, against Holy Cross.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
she took a left cross.
She did. The Holy Cross and gave her one right across the old chin. That was for sure. But you know what also is cool about March Madness, Jay?
What's that?
Is it gives people that you've never heard of an opportunity to get the limelight.
Howdy.
Yeah.
I would agree.
And you probably don't know, but the gentleman from Oakland, do you know his name?
I do not.
I was hoping you would, because then I say you do now, and that's Jack Golke, if I pronounce that correctly. He's, obviously he had a monster game in the round 1 of the tournament where they defeated Kentucky, and I think he made 10 out of 23 pointers. The wild thing is he only shot 8 regular field goals inside the 3-point line the entire season. He's a 3-point specialist. And then obviously they lost to NC State in overtime, still scoring a tremendous amount of points. But what was really cool is he's gotten 2 NIL deals simply because of his performance in the tournament.
There you go.
Talk about getting yourself on the stage and then taking advantage of the opportunity. One of those came from Buffalo Wild Wings, who is now giving him an NIL deal. The other one is coming from TurboTax, because it is tax season. He looks like a guy that would help you with your taxes. But yes, I mean, that's one of the things that's just so cool about March Madness is you get these mid-major teams that you're not watching. Let's be honest. Unless you went to that school or you're in that conference or something like that, you're not watching. So
or they play your team in the regular season.
Exactly, which could happen, but you don't really learn about them until the tournament.
Right.
And then for them to take advantage of the opportunity. And another cool thing, getting back to that Auburn game, they were playing Yale. They were all the way in Spokane. You know where Yale is?
Yale, somewhere in the Northeast.
Correct. It is in the Northeast. Their band did not travel out to that game. So the Idaho band put on Yale gear, learned all their fight songs, and played for Yale there at the game.
Wow.
So
camaraderie.
The key to upsets is having people pull for you.
Yeah, and having bands from other schools.
Well, there was one tournament, or there was one game this past weekend where somebody was up huge at half, and I can't remember who it was, but the coach had interviewed, and he was not happy at all. And they were up by like 20 or 30 points, and he kept saying, he's like, you got to keep stepping on their throat, because in this tournament, I mean, you may have Creighton, you may have somebody that you've never heard of come in, and
Creighton's a number 2 or 3 seed. They're pretty popular.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's in basketball.
Okay, I got
Not
you.
really in a whole lot of other stuff, but basketball for sure. They've been pretty relevant.
Who are some other no names like recently? Like Oakland.
Yeah. Do you know what state Oakland's from?
I want to say California, but it's not.
That's the obvious answer.
Let's go Tennessee.
No.
It's Texas.
No.
Dang.
Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because you never go up. You never go to the Midwest when we're guessing.
Know.
You never go to those states up there.
I favor the South.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Well, you went to California to start, but that was the obvious answer.
That's true.
There's probably a lot of Oaklands.
You could be.
I think there's a good golf course in Oakland, Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why.
There is.
What is it?
Oakland Hills.
I think.
Is that not?
I don't.
That sounds right.
It's Oak Hill.
Or Oak Hill.
But that's in New York. I don't know what. I was going down a tangent there.
Oh, gosh.
All right. I don't think he's had his press conference yet. Do you know what we're talking about?
No.
Do you know what happened with Shohei over the weekend?
What happened?
Oh, man, you really have not paid attention to sports at all.
That's wild, because that's everywhere.
Been all over the place.
Really?
So Shohei, his interpreter, has since been fired because of betting millions of dollars on games.
What?
And Shohei has officially said that he has not... It has nothing to do with this, although he did wire $4.5 million from his bank account to his interpreter's bank account, which there's a lot of investigation going on. Who knows what's going to happen? It's all speculation at this point, but wild.
That is wild.
So he's supposed to have a press conference today with his new interpreter. A different story was originally laid out to ESPN as an Ohtani spokesperson told the outlets last week that at least 4.5, not just 4.5 million wire transfers were sent from Ohtani's bank account to pay off Muzara's gambling debts.
That's a whole nother level of relationship between your interpreter and you. Like,
especially when you can say stuff in front of people that nobody else knows what you're talking about.
Like, you got to keep that relationship pretty tight.
Well, apparently it was very tight, but a lot more to come out with that. Shohei's supposed to have a press conference today, but we do have a caller on the line. That's LSU Jeff out there. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. You guys are having too much fun today.
Well, we try to have as much fun as we can every day, but today is certainly a fun one, that's for sure.
Y'all are on. I think y'all got all that rest on the weekend, and y'all on fire today.
There you go. Nice. Well, we appreciate that. I know Jay was a busy man out there on the lesson tee and playing against podcasters and all that stuff, but yeah. But what do you got for us?
Oh, not much. It just that was shocking. I'm huge on knowing where all these colleges are. I had no idea that Oakland wasn't in Oakland, California. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think they've been in the tournament before at some point, and I just remember that there was an Oakland and Michigan. But yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty of March Madness and so many at-large bids. And Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, kind of eating his words after what happened to the SEC in the first couple rounds, talking about that you need to get rid of some of these at-large bids for these smaller conferences that can't compete. And then what happened? You had Oakland beat Kentucky, Yale beats Auburn, and it's just it's been interesting. That's why you got to say stuff after the fact.
So how's y'all's brackets doing?
My bracket's a disaster. But I think most people's brackets are a disaster at this point. I don't even know if I don't think there's any perfect brackets left. And I think according to Yahoo, there was 2 total brackets that had two incorrect picks, something along those lines. Had like a couple picks wrong, 2 out of the entire amount that they did. But it happens every year, and the first round, although like we talked about it earlier in the show, is the first time since 2001 that you've had this many upsets in the first round, and then there was only 1 upset in that second round, according to odds makers and that kind of stuff.
Not really. So, there was more than 1.
Yeah.
Because that Clemson beating Baylor yesterday, that was a 6-3. And then the beating that I took in the second round was Kansas. They, even though I only had them going like another round, it's those little dings that sometimes hurt you that keep you from getting in the top 20. We'll say because Northwest Florida, I started out as like 86th, tied for like 86th. Now I'm like tied for 38th.
Yeah,
and I feel fairly confident that I can get around top 20. But I'm not going to break in the top 10, I'm pretty sure.
The key is seeing how many remaining points you still have to get. That gives you the opportunity. What's wild about that Gonzaga-Kansas game is Gonzaga was actually the favorite, according to Vegas, in that game. So they were the betting favorite in that one. But, they...
Yeah, well, 4 and 5 is not that big of a difference. Like an 8 and a 9,
No, definitely not. Who do you like in the remaining 16? Is it you think it's one of the number 1 seeds that's going to get it done, or what do you like?
So right from the get-go, I had UConn because I said this is the best chance somebody repeats since Florida.
Yeah.
And before that was Duke in 91, 92. So I said this is the best chance for a repeat and it might not happen for another 10 or 20 years. But I'm gonna still stick with UConn. The only 1 seed I did not have in the Final Four, which I'm beginning to wonder right now, is a 2 seed Tennessee over Purdue. Because that big guy, he gets a lot of favorable calls, but he is not that talented. Other than 7-4, I don't see. I see the shutting him down, and the Purdue outside shooting is just going to fall apart. And I'm hoping it's Tennessee that I can get there to make it to the Final Four in that Purdue bracket. So, but Houston looked great 1 game, and
That's the thing about the tournament is you've had, other than really, UConn is looked as dominant as ever, but looking at all the rest of the teams that are still left, North Carolina obviously is probably the second most dominant if you're just looking at total points. But to have UConn in there doing what they're doing and the 4 number 1 seeds, it's just going to be interesting to see if anybody can slow those teams down. Because like you said, Houston had a great start, won by almost double in their first game, and then had to force over overtime to win their second game. But typically on your route to trying to win a national championship, you're not just going to blow out everybody. And when you can persevere and win games like that, sometimes it'll jumpstart you a little bit. Are you surprised, being the SEC guy you are, LSU Jeff, that their SEC has gone 5-6 in this tournament? They've only got 2 teams out of the 8 they first started with.
Okay, well, Kentucky just caught one of those guys hot. And then Auburn, that guy getting kicked out 3 minutes into the first game, that was kind of bogus. Was it a flagrant 2?
Yeah, they gave him a flagrant 2. A lot of people saying it should have been a flagrant 1, which would have just been the two shots in the ball for Yale, but he got kicked out of the game.
That was bull.
Yeah,
that was bull.
That was a tough one. But at the same time, don't throw elbows, for no reason when you're not involved in the play.
But the other 2, South Carolina and Florida, once you lose 2 teams like that, you're kind of like, okay, well, guess what? The conference was parity. You didn't have 2 teams like the ACC had. You didn't have 2 teams like the Big Ten or the Pac-12 or the Big 12 had. There were like 6 to 7 teams. They weren't great, but they were good. And they belonged in the tournament. But, they're saying we got found out, but to be honest with you, do we deserve 4 seeds like we did? Probably not. So maybe like 6 and 7 seeds instead of 4 seeds, We saw that we weren't that good. It was parity.
Yeah, they beat each other up all year, a lot of really good teams. And that's the thing about the tournament is once you get in there, all it takes is one hot game from one team and you are out. Hey, Jeff, we got our end of the show coming up. We appreciate your call as always. Give us a shout later in the week when we're getting closer to these Sweet 16 games. We'll discuss them with you. Appreciate your call.
It is exciting. I'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, exciting indeed. And just real quick, you've got 4 teams left from the ACC. They're currently 8-1. Mountain West has got a team left. Pac-12's got a team left. Big East second with 3 teams left. SEC, as I mentioned, only has 2 teams left. The Big 10 has 2 teams. The Big 12 has 2 teams. And the WCC, the Western Collegiate Conference, has 1 team left as well. We appreciate you tuning into the Inside Drive. We've got a couple guests coming up tomorrow. We got Brad Law and Doc A on your Tuesday docket. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m. Don't forget about the race to Talladega. Jay Henley's tip of the week tomorrow morning. Can't wait to hear what that's going to be. We appreciate you listening. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. The race to Talladega. Then at 12:15 and 5:15, listen for your name called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to Talladega. Right here from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather.